Brother and lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. Gary Jacobs with the Times is reporting that Arsenal are set to submit a renewed bid for Moises Caicedo after signing Declan Rice. It will be our potential next signing after signing Declan Rice, who is our priority, and the bid is very imminent for Moises Caicedo. But also, we're going to be discussing William Saliba's contract that is very close, and Arsenal have offered him 190,000 per week. That is very interesting. 190,000 pounds per week is what William Saliba could be earning potentially at Arsenal. Arsenal are interested in signing Pedro Goncalves at Sporting Lisbon. You might know him, the boy that actually pushed us out of the UEFA Europa League this season. That is the boy we are looking at. And Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli have also have actually emerged as second and third player of the season in the vote that is actually going on, with Martin Odegaard expected to be the player of the season. Now, I want your thoughts, I want your opinions on who is your player of the season at Arsenal in this campaign. Saka, with 48 appearances, 15 goals and 11 assists, has been voted runner-up to the player of the season, who is expected to be Martin Odegaard. And of course, Martinelli has been voted as second runner-up, or as, you know, in position number 3, with 46 appearances for Arsenal, 15 goals and 6 assists. Who has been your player of the season? There's so many names for me as an Arsenal fan. Alexander Zinchenko has been mesmerizing, absolutely beautiful in terms of playing for Arsenal this season. We've got to talk about Gabriel Jesus. Yes, he picked up an injury, and a few Arsenal fans have actually given up on him. But for me, if you talk about impact, if you talk about a player that has brought glory days back to Arsenal, Gabriel Jesus is that guy. So who's been your player of the season? Is it Martin Odegaard? Is it Saka and Martinelli? And how do you feel that Saka has actually not won the player of the season for the third time consecutively? Is it planned? Is it mastermind? Is it some kind of plot to stop Saka from winning it back to back? Or you think Odegaard has been a much better player than Saka? Let me know in the comment box below. Hit the like button. Let's get this video to 500 likes. And do subscribe. In the comment box below, let me know your player of the season, because that information I'm going to use in my player of the season video. Right, let's get into it. Now, according to the Times, Gary Jacobs, one of those really big reporters that I really love, he's one of those guys that, you know, don't report nonsense, he's always on point, has actually said that Arsenal have already planned a renewed bid for Moises Caicedo, and this is very imminent after signing Declan Rice, who is on top of the list of transfers, not just midfielders, but Declan Rice is a priority on top of transfers for Arsenal. They want to get the Declan Rice deal done before signing any other player. Then Arsenal will move swiftly to sign Moises Caicedo. A new bid is expected, with Chelsea also there as preferred destination for Moises Caicedo. So the Times go on to say that at the moment, Arsenal still have that confidence that Moises Caicedo would love to sign for us, and we're still very, very confident that after signing Declan Rice, the deal will be there for us to do, and Moises Caicedo will be our next signing. Of course, we've talked about this. It has been reported by The Guardian before, and a couple of other outlets, that Arsenal's main priority is midfield this summer. It's going to take Moises Caicedo and Declan Rice for Mikel Arteta to feel satisfied that he has had the midfield duo he wants this campaign. Now, this comes in not as a surprise to me, but as a big story. It looks like, one, we are willing to move faster in this transfer window. Look, it's only 8 days inside the transfer window, and actually the transfer window has not even opened yet, but we have already made some huge intention statements of intention and statements of intent. We are already in discussions with Declan Rice. We are already in discussions with West Ham. Actually, West Ham are looking for replacement for Declan Rice already, with Edson Alvarez and a couple of other players, like I mentioned in my earlier videos, being looked at. But with Moises Caicedo, I think Arsenal need to act faster than Declan Rice. And this is my opinion, right? Bayern, according to reliable sources, Bayern plan to attack the situation, attack the space on Declan Rice, in the next 1 to 2 weeks. By that time, there is a high possibility that Arsenal could have found an agreement between them and West Ham and the player. So Bayern are going to take a fortnight, 2 weeks to attack this situation. Bayern are already discouraged. They feel the player would love to stay in England. They also feel that the player is leaning towards Arsenal rather than moving to them. So Bayern are in there as a by the way. Remember last summer when Arsenal were in that situation of, Rafinha. Of course, Barca were always the priority, the player's priority. He always wanted to go to Barcelona. But of course, they say, look, if that move doesn't materialize, then definitely I will be moving to Chelsea or to Arsenal. So those by the ways are always there. Should the main club fail to agree a deal? I don't see Arsenal fail to agree a deal with West Ham. I don't see Arsenal fail to agree a deal with Declan Rice. It's just inches away. The difference in valuation is just £10 million. They want £100 million. We want to pay £90 million. Surely 10 million won't be a big problem. I don't think it will. It won't be a problem to deter the deal, okay? So, Caicedo then is the next signing that Arsenal will be looking at. Fabrizio Romano today, interestingly, has been talking about Moises Caicedo, and he said that Chelsea are looking at him. Chelsea will now look to progress on this one, to pounce on this deal. But he said something very interesting, that they Brighton will look for 70 to 80 million, nothing more. Can you imagine? We went in with 70 million in January, and they said they are not selling. And we all thought, okay, this could be because they want 100 million. This could be because they feel he's worth 110, maybe 120 million. He's actually going to go for 70, 80 million. Like, Arsenal just need to get the offer that we tabled in January, improve it a little bit, pay, make sure that the payments are a little bit, quicker, and also within a very, very short period of time. Add on a few bonuses that make the deal look new, and then we will have our guy. Moises Caicedo wants to play in the UEFA Champions League, number one. He would love to play for Arsenal. He's a long-time Arsenal fan. That is number two. And, of course, he's a big fan of Mikel Arteta and the project. So this one might actually look easy. Might actually turn out easier than it looks. Of course, the interest makes it difficult. Brighton expect a bidding war, and I reckon it will happen. Chelsea will be looking to spend over maybe 80 million on him. I don't think Liverpool are interested in a bidding war. They are interested in Moises Caicedo, but in a bidding war, I don't think. I think they'll be looking at the likes of Manu, Kone, Kefram, Thuram, and those players. I think that's where they will be looking. Deals they can do for 40 million, deals they can do for, maybe 45 million. But when you talk about 80 million, when you talk about the 90s, the 70s of millions, it's not where Liverpool are looking at, okay? So let's wait for that bid. And I pray it comes in quicker. Because the quicker it comes in, the quicker. Because we know Brighton easily sell, right? Brighton really sell at a very, very quick rate. The moment they get the money they want, they'll push Moises Caicedo towards Chelsea. We don't want that to happen, and the bid should be coming in quickly. It should be coming in quickly. But positive news on Moises Caicedo. Arsenal are not just watching the space. Arsenal are actively in that deal. Now, the other big story is around William Saliba. News coming out shows that William Saliba is very close to agreeing a deal with Arsenal, and that deal is very close to £200,000. Arsenal are willing to give William Saliba £190,000 per week for him to sign a new deal at the Emirates Stadium. Look, I'm happy for him. And I'm happy that Arsenal are maintaining the relationship between Saliba and the club. But I'm absolutely worried. I'm really, really worried. And the reason as why I'm really worried is that this could easily spiral out of control. We might see a ripple effect that Arsenal are not going to, manage in the next coming years. Saka at £195,000 per week. Odegaard potentially will go to 100 and maybe 90,000 pounds per week. Saliba at 190,000 pounds per week. So you have the likes of Gabriel Magalhaes that have just signed a deal, but he's one of the most progressive players in the Premier League. In the next 2 years, he's gonna be 26. You won't be surprised if if he's one of the best defensive players in the Premier League and he asks for 200. We might reach a time where each and every player at Arsenal asks for 200,000 pounds per week. That is where I'm afraid, and that is where I'm really, really afraid with the direction that we are taking as a club. But is Saliba worth 190? There is a question mark. There are debates to be had, but in the end, the pros and the cons could find a consensus, in my opinion, right? But I kind of feel like it's too much. It's really, really too much, okay? How much are we going to give players like Declan Rice when they come in? And how much are we going to improve Declan Rice's contract for 2 years down the road? Moises Caicedo, how much are we going to, improve his contract with? 2 years down the road. That's the big question. It's a young army, it's a young team, it's a young project. Everyone is going to look at Saka, Saliba, and Odegaard, and everybody's gonna go, I want a portion of that. If you can't give me that, I am not staying. And I'm telling you, there's so many big clubs, including the pathetic lunatics in Saudi Arabia, that are just giving out contracts for fun just because they would love to have a nice face playing football in Saudi Arabia. 100 million euros per year to N'Golo Conte, 200 million euros per year to Karim Benzema, and all the other ridiculous contracts offered to Wilfred Zaha, Ike Gundogan, Riyad Mahrez, and all the other players. So I don't want to lose our players because we cannot pay them, and we've put ourselves in such a situation. All right. Actually, in my opinion, Arsenal should have secured Martinelli's contract first, Gabriel Magalhaes' contract first, and then Saliba's contract first before announcing the Bukayo Saka contract, because that means that you can give Saliba 100k and he will be satisfied because he doesn't know what Saka is earning, right? But after him looking at himself as one of the best centre backs, future of Arsenal, future of France, he's gone, give me 200. I mean, yeah, give me 200. All these other centre backs that are competing with me at international level and at club level, I'm better than them. So I should be getting 200,000 per week. Good deal, but very scary, waters for Arsenal to navigate. Very, very scary. Now, Arsenal are trying to sign my boy, Pedro Goncalves Porte, who eventually and ultimately pushed us out of the Europa League for not being good enough. He did that at the Emirates Stadium with a stunner goal that saw Aaron Ramsdale limping, backwards towards his goal line, but he was too late. Pedro Goncalves this season has played 27 games for Sporting Lisbon, and he has had 15 goals and 11 assists. Very close to, actually very, very close to what we have had with Bukayo Saka. The difference is Saka has done it in a much more difficult league at a younger age because, Porte is 24, but what a player. What a player. Now, we understand that Arsenal would love to add an attacking midfielder, an attacking forward to the mix. Porte can play as a central midfielder. He's played as an attacking midfielder before, a right winger and a left winger. And also, according to Transfer Market, he's played 26 times as a left winger, scoring 10 goals and assisting 9 times. And he's played 19 times as a central midfielder, assisting 6 times and scoring 9 goals during that time. Listen, you want versatility? I've just offered you versatility. You want a young player for your project? I've just offered you a young player for your project. And you want a player with maximum, experience? I've also just offered you a player with that at a very, very young age. I think the one thing we'll talk about Porter here is that he's a goal-scoring forward. In 2020-2021, this guy scored 20 goals 23 goals for Sporting Lisbon, assisting 3 times. Last season but one, he scored 8 goals and 9 assists in 27 games. And last campaign, 15 goals, 11 assists in 33 games. So Porty is the guy, right? Porty is the guy. Sign him. I mean, there is no shame in signing a guy that absolutely bowled you. There is no shame in signing a player that absolutely devastated and terrorized the defense of Arsenal. This guy sent William Saliba and Tomiyasu to their end-of-season injuries. Surely you want to sign that guy. Surely we should do that deal. But let's wait and see. But there is also talk about Arsenal launching bids for Caicedo, Cancelo, and Kai Havertz after Declan Rice. It's expected that Arsenal's transfer summer is going to actually ramp up, quickly after signing Declan Rice, with moves for Kai Havertz, Cancelo, and Caicedo on the move. With Kai Havertz, it's gonna be one to watch. Madrid feel the price is very, very high. I think around 70 million is what Chelsea are quoting. So we might see Arsenal just bump in there and go, if you get 50 million pounds, we could take him. And I think Chelsea do need some money to invest. They are in such a precarious situation. They're willing to sell to their rivals just to make space for new players. Mason Mount to Man United, Kai Havertz potentially to Arsenal, Kovacic potentially to Manchester City. They are willing to strengthen their rivals just to get the cash. Sounds like familiar, doesn't it? But with Cancelo and Caicedo, those are signings that I really think Arsenal will try to press on. And if we can get agreements done, those will happen. See you on the other side. Cheers.